friends. Welcome back to another episode of Two Idiot Girls. We're back in the stew. Feeling good. Change the angles a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully you don't see just the whites of my eyes this time.
I'll be honest, I put on makeup because I look back and I go, hey, I need to clean up back there.
Yeah, I said, even that iPhone camera really be capturing everything, huh?
And we changed the angle so you guys can't see my feet, you freaks.
I'm the one who told Jason to put them dogs away.
I'm giving the people what they want. Anyways, so in today's episode, we are going to be answering more advice questions that all of you had for us.
Yeah.
Because we got, like I said, 140 responses. So let's see what we get to today.
Yeah, and we only did like 5.
I know. Well, and then the final cut, I think I only kept like 3 or 4 of them because we are so long-winded.
Well, what else is new, honestly?
Right? What are you thinking? Okay. So, and this one has no theme. It's just advice.
Yeah.
So here we go. So this one's from someone named Eddie. And she would like to know. She said, how do I leave friendships when they stop showing any effort?
I mean, my initial reaction is to just be like, just stop. You know what I mean? Like, don't talk to them anymore. If they're not reciprocating or putting in effort, as much effort as you are, then I would just let it go. I assume you're asking that, though, because you don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
But you can't convince someone to be in your life.
Yeah.
Whether it's platonic or romantic. That's not fair to you.
Yeah. I think something that I have learned the hard way the last few months is that whether it's a romantic relationship or a friendship or whatever, if they're not always going to pick you, and we've talked about this before, then you pick you.
Yeah.
And so I would do whatever makes you feel best. So, I mean, I'm sure it's hard having to like navigate relationships with people you felt really close with at one point and stuff like that. But I just would prioritize how it's making you feel. And if it makes you feel unfulfilled or it makes you feel like shit, then I would, I guess, leave. I don't know. Sometimes people are like, you know what? You need to have those tough conversations with your friends. Like where you're like, you know what? You don't put in any effort and it makes me feel bad about myself. But I am not naturally a confrontational person.
Yeah.
And sometimes those conversations are not beneficial.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the most confrontational person and I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Mostly just because this person doesn't even have the wherewithal to like catch up with you or like keep up with you. What makes you think they're going to sit down and have a very serious conversation
and like
with
let's
you?
hear you out? Yeah.
Yeah. Like and it's one thing to be busy. Like everybody's busy. Everybody gets busy. Everybody has lives outside of each other, especially if y'all don't live anywhere near each other. Like I have a lot of really close friends that don't live in California.
Yeah.
Because we all went to college together and we're all still good friends. But the best relationships that I feel last the longest are the low maintenance relationships. So ones that you don't need to constantly be checking in with each other. I also think that's a young people thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're young and you're in constant communication with each other, like when you're in college or when you're in high school and you have your really close circle of friends, you're constantly texting each other and constantly talking to each other. And then when you become an adult and you move away from each other, you have to like wrap your head around the idea that you're not always going to talk. That doesn't mean that you're
a bad friend.
Yeah. Because I'm guilty of that too. Like, especially now because I'm so fucking busy with
famosa.
Que famosa. No, I would never say that about myself. But like the best friends to have are the ones that understand. As long as you reach out to each other every now and again, especially on special occasions like birthdays and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that, and then when they're in town and they're like, hey, we should meet up. We haven't seen each other. Like, you know, make time for each other, that kind of stuff. But again, if you're constantly doing that on one end and they're never reciprocating, then that's probably a friend you don't want to keep around.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not worth it to me. People like that, I feel, I mean, unless you're genuinely concerned about keeping this person in your life, I don't really think it's worth the conversation. It very rarely is, though, unless it's like a family member or someone you're always going to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Where you've had like tough conversations before, so it's not that hard for you to like have this one.
Yeah. I mean, I just think when you're older, you shouldn't have to do that. when you're an adult, when we're adults, I shouldn't have to be like, "Hey, why don't you ever want to talk to me?" Like, I shouldn't have to have that conversation with you.
Yeah. Or it only feels like I'm the one reaching out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay to like temp gauge every now and then. Like if you feel frustrated with your friend and you're like, "Hey,
Hmm.
hey girl, why don't you ever hit me up anymore?" Like, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, to have like a sit down, like, this is how I'm feeling, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's your prerogative. Whatever you feel is worth it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do what's best for you. Well, it feels
Yeah.
best for you. So if it is to leave your friendship and take care of yourself, then you should do that for sure.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, cool. Our next one is anonymous, and she would like to know. So she said, I'm kind of in this phase where I hate my body. Like, I just hate it, and I don't know where to go to buy clothes that fit and look nice. I
Mhm.
only have sweats and hoodies because I don't like my body, but I feel so shitty. I also hate shopping because nothing fits, and it makes me frustrated and want to cry and never eat again. So, what are some places that are budget friendly or not that sell nice plus size clothes? I tried Shein, but even those clothes didn't really work for me. But I'm thinking of giving them a second chance. Like, we're headed towards summer and I have no outdoor clothes. The biggest, the best option I could give you as someone who my weight has fluctuated quite a bit the last like 3 years,
Mhm.
um, I would say Old Navy.
Yeah, Old Navy's a great
Old
option.
Navy has such cute clothes that are relatively priced well, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's for all different body sizes. I would also, I don't know if this interests you, follow other plus size women or women who have body shapes similar to you on
Yeah.
TikTok because
Yeah.
I see so many different sized women do like Old Navy hauls, and I love watching them because I love Old Navy.
Mhm.
So I would do that to maybe inspire you to see like you can dress however you want and still feel comfortable and look
Yeah.
cute and
Yeah.
trendy and stuff like that in a way that you feel confident in what you're wearing.
Yeah, like, it's Mary Fran.
Oh,
She's
dude.
a great
I've
one.
been such a big fan. Yeah, she
Love
loves Old
her.
Navy. She did a Target swimsuit, I want to say,
Mhm.
haul. So Target's also another great option with Wild
Yeah.
Fable. They're finally like a lot more size inclusive. Not the most inclusive, but they are pretty inclusive.
Another one, is Jessica Torres.
Yeah.
Love her.
And then this other girl I follow, her name's like Mermaid Hair. I know she
Mhm.
follows you because I watch her comment on your videos all the time.
Oh, really?
She owns like a hair salon. But anyways, she's super cute and she does try on hauls all the time from Target.
Mhm.
She does Old Navy. I've seen her do like and also does like higher end brands. Like I've seen her do like I think Free People or like ASOS and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So those are more ASOS is like kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I agree.
haven't really had positive experiences buying from them, but I also think it's just cuz sizing is so different across the board that I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like at Target I'm a size 20 in pants and then I get it from ASOS and that's like way too big on me." You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
So,
it's also, hard to shop online.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
really fucking hard to
yeah.
shop online, especially
Mhm.
for plus size women or fat women. It's
Mhm.
nearly impossible, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say those are all really great affordable options. And the note about following creators that do any sort of plus size fashion try on hauls, like
Yeah.
that's kind of like what their niche is.
Mhm.
Follow them too because those are great options to explore. For me, I don't know, like it really just depends. I mean, I would never categorize myself as a fat person because I feel like that would be inappropriate of me to say that.
Sure.
But I'm definitely a plus size girl. So like I really hate when women speak on behalf of my body and they're like, she's literally small. Like she can afford to wear anything. That's not fucking true. And you're not in my body, so you wouldn't fucking know. But
Yeah.
anything bigger than a 10 is considered plus size.
Mhm.
And I'm like 12, 14, 16.
Mhm.
So that's plus size, bitch. So
Mhm.
that's what I always think. But I totally get that sentiment about feeling like there's just nowhere you can go,
Yeah, and
especially
then
retail.
yeah, and because summer is coming up, and so
Mhm.
maybe you live in like a climate that's a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
So for me, like, when I was like, because I've like fluctuated between give or take like 50 pounds over the last like 3 years.
Mhm.
I always wanted to wear really cute workout clothes if I wanted to go on a walk or something. That's what always motivates
Yeah, I
me.
told you that.
No, I know, because I watched you get all your Gymshark stuff during the
Yeah.
pandemic, and then I'm wearing the same Walmart shorts and tank top
It
that I've
just does
had.
something for you. It just makes you feel so much cuter and so much more
Yeah.
motivated to go to the gym because you feel good. So
Yeah.
you wanna like work out good.
Yeah, so if you're looking for cute, affordable workout clothes like sets and stuff, Old Navy
Yeah.
is that girl. I
Yeah.
can't. All my workout clothes are Old Navy. And for me, as someone who's dealt with a lot of like negativity towards my body, I have to see for right now at the state that I'm in, I have to see my entire body in order to feel positive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I wear something baggy, it makes me feel like I look different from how I really am. And you know what I mean? So I would highly recommend, I love wearing a 2-piece set and then just going on a walk in my living room, in my neighborhood.
It's funny because I'm kind of the opposite. A little bit, because obviously I love to wear form-fitting stuff. I love a good crop top. Like,
Yeah, same.
if I had a Barbie and it could have, or if I was a cartoon character and I would have the same outfit on every
Like
day.
SpongeBob, yeah.
Yeah, I would wear big jeans, like big high-waisted baggy jeans and a tiny little crop top and some platform shoes. That would be my character's outfit every fucking day, because that's like
Yeah.
my favorite kind of outfit to wear. That's like my style. So, I feel really good. Like, I was so happy with myself when I started wearing really big jeans and really big t-shirts, because I felt confident. Because before, when I was like on my male gaze shit, like
Yeah.
unknowingly, I would hate to wear too baggy things because I would feel like it would make me look big, which is one, fat phobic, and two, not true. Like, it's just like a stylistic choice. It has nothing to do with your body, because
Yeah.
I'm practicing aggressive body neutrality.
Yeah.
And that's what I would advise you to do.
Yeah.
I talked about that recently, because a lot of times dudes, when they fucking hate me, they're like, oh, for someone who's body positive. I never said that. I'm not someone who has advocated for body positivity, purely because I feel like the movement has been warped by white feminism.
Yeah.
It's not what it started out to be. It's not what it is now.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're positive
Well,
towards,
then they say that, but they're not body positive
Exactly.
either. So like, neither of us are. So I guess we're in
so
the
it
same
turns out,
boat.
well,
Yeah.
not, yeah, exactly. Like, you could argue that the most aggressive gym goers are extremely fat phobic towards themselves, let alone other people. But my point in saying that is, I've always advocated for body neutrality, that your body doesn't hold any worth or like any weight in the sense of your worth or value in this world. So it just exists.
Yeah.
It just is. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're a good person, whether or not you're
Yeah.
worthy of love, whether or not you're worthy of respect.
Yeah.
That's like ideal for me. So I always, whenever I'm being mean to myself about my body, I always think about that and like tell myself that over and over again, because your body keeps you alive. So that's what
Yeah.
you should focus on. Because I know she was mentioning, or I don't want to assume if that was the right.
Yeah, she. Yeah.
Okay. I just don't. I know you were mentioning that you really hate your body, but before you focus on clothing, I would simultaneously focus on how you treat yourself.
Yeah.
Like, how you talk to yourself. Like, why do you think that you should hate your body? Like, why do you think you're not allowed the privilege of loving yourself just as much as anybody else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I would start working on that. Like, I would follow creators that advocate for the same kind of values that you do when it comes to your body. Follow creators that look like you. That's very powerful. Representation is so important. So when you see someone who's built exactly like you, you're like, I feel really good seeing this person like, live their life and be happy and feel love and all that stuff and joy, because you deserve that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And so we've had like opposite things. So me, I've always struggled with not wanting anyone to see my body. So I've always worn baggy stuff. And now I'm like, I love my body, so I'd rather wear tight stuff so then I can see it in a so it's like complete opposite of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same. Because I've never thought anything about my body ever until I was older, which is a privilege, I think, as like a, I guess, more straight size person. But technically I'm not straight size, so it's like, it's a real sliding scale sometimes with the terminologies, which is upsetting, which makes you feel bad, but that's capitalism for you.
No, like literally.
That's fat phobia and capitalism for you.
Okay, perfect. This one says making friends and living with depression. Do you want to do that one? No.
Do a funny one.
A lot of these are sad. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, like what?
How to be friends with girls who have narcissistic partners. It grinds my gears.
Don't. That's
here's how you do it.
Don't.
Realistic expectations and boundaries in a healthy relationship.
We can do that one.
Oh, this one's interesting.
What?
Okay. I'm going to read it to you, right?
Okay.
Okay, so this is from someone named Myra, and she wants to know, I'm dating a guy who I think my family will find ugly, but to me, he's cute, and he's genuinely the best guy I've dated in a while. I myself am not the cutest. I'm plus size and apple shaped, but I don't know why I'm scared they're going to roast him or judge him based on his looks. I don't know how to get over it, to be honest, and I don't want it to ruin anything.
Oh man, there's so many layers to that. Well, first of all, I don't know why you're saying you're not cute. Don't say that about yourself.
Take
That's
it back.
mean. Take it back. Take it back. That's one. Two, why would your family feel the need to comment on what your partner looks like?
Yeah.
Is that something they do often? Like, this is like, I have a lot of follow-up questions. Like,
yeah, maybe it's something where like they comment on her, so she's like clearly because she doesn't.
yeah. Well, then that's maybe why you feel like they might comment on him.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I don't know, because I want to say, like, if you say he's ugly,
or you think that they
Yeah.
think he'll think he's.
do you think he's ugly, or do you just think they'll think he's ugly? And if so, why would you think that? Like,
yeah.
is someone dating Bella Hadid in your family? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
like is your family a family of supermodels? No, then they really have no place. But like more than anything, beauty is subjective.
Yeah.
It's really none of their goddamn
I was
business.
gonna say, also you're dating him, Myra.
Yeah.
Not your family.
Yeah,
so.
it's none of their business. And if your family feels the need to comment on what someone that you really like and care about, what they look like, that says more about them than it does about you.
Yeah.
And but it sounds like you care a lot about what they think, which is understandable because they're your family. But there's a line that's like called crossing a boundary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to your family has no right to comment on what your partner looks like.
Yeah.
The only time I would say that that's somewhat acceptable or free game is if that person like fucks you over or something, and then it's just like a shit talking session.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if that's the case, then that's the only time I'd be like, I'd give it a pass.
Yeah.
Because they're just feeling passionate or protective of you. But if it's just to like be mean, I don't know why. I mean, you would even want to bring them around you. Protect your space, girl. Protect your space and your mental health. And if you really like him and he's the best person ever, then
what are we talking
then who
about?
cares?
What
Yeah,
are we
then who gives a
talking
shit?
about?
Yeah, then when you bring him and they try to make jokes, if I were you, start writing down jokes about your family.
Yeah.
It's
It's kind of ugly. No, you are, and your teeth are brown.
Yeah, build a set list, like a return
She has her
punchlines.
phone open. She's
Yeah.
like, and then you, Dad.
Yeah, open your notes app and start firing off. But that could also be a projection of you too.
Yeah, like maybe you think you're not good enough to be with him or something like
so
that.
that could be a projection, low key, not in a negative way, not in a bad way towards you, but that could be more of a reflection of how you're feeling about you, more so than how your family might feel about him. But if that's not the case, and they just be commenting like that, that's not fucking cool.
Yeah.
Just don't take him around them then. And then if he asks you, just tell him my family's just not nice people. So
yeah.
And if you do bring him around, just like, as I said, fill up the chamber with jokes about what they're looking like. Because anyone who feels the need to make comments like that, first of all, is ugly.
Yeah. I know, on someone's appearance. What are we doing?
Yeah, you're ugly because you're ugly on the inside. You know what I mean? So don't don't take too much stock in stuff like that. That's not fair to you or your partner.
Yeah. Because to you, you're saying he's the best person ever.
Yeah.
So that's all you should be focusing on with your family.
Yeah.
Not like asking around, do you think my boyfriend's hot? Or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't play a role. And it's none of their goddamn business, to be honest. So you do you, girl.
So this is from someone named Cam.
Okay.
And she said, I'm trying to create a podcast. Fun.
Cute.
And need some advice on how to just do it. I've written scripts, outlined episodes, I've picked a name, and I've had some of my friends read the topics, and they're all supportive, but I can't get myself to sit down and actually just record it. How can I get over that fear and nervousness?
I talk about this a lot, but I'm assuming it's fear of hate and criticism.
Yeah.
Which is a natural human
rejection.
Yeah. Here's what I'll tell you. If you think about someone like Emily Mariko, she doesn't talk in her videos.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk. She sits there, she makes food, and she's happy and she's eating it. That bitch gets hate. She gets nonstop hate. People are like, I don't know, something about her. You don't even know her, is what I always think. Like, and me and Emily are mutuals on TikTok, and she's like genuinely so fucking sweet. Like she's the
I know.
sweetest person.
I'm always surprised when people are like, yeah, I've always caught a bad vibe about her.
No, you didn't.
You know what the vibe is?
Hater shit.
It's jealousy.
It's haterade is what
envy.
it is. So my point in saying that is you are gonna get hate no matter what. No matter what platform you put it on, no matter where you post it, even if you only posted it for your friends or your family or whatever, there's gonna be at least one hating ass bitch in that group. And they're gonna talk shit, whether it's to your face, which it probably wouldn't be. It would probably be in secret because that's what haters love to do, or anonymously. Once you let that go or come to peace with it, then you take all that power away from them.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that stops you. The thing that stops you is your fear of being rejected, which comes in the form of hate. Because people are like, well, I don't know, I just don't like. Like, do you know how many fucking people hate me? Like on the internet?
No one hates you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, they just don't like me. Yeah. And it's, obviously, and I'm a very outspoken person. That's why I said, like, someone who doesn't say words at all, she's damn near a silent movie character in her videos, and people are still like, yeah, something's off. You know what I mean? Like, when they say shit like that, it's truly coming from a place of the hating ass bitch inside them.
Just jealousy.
It's honestly cowardice.
Yeah, I was gonna say they wish that they had the balls to do
the courage to do it. Like they're a fucking coward. That's why people say shit like that. So once you let that go and come to terms with it, you take that power away from them and you give it back to yourself. You're like, you know what? No matter what, I'm not making this for them. I'm making this for me, and maybe somebody out there can relate and maybe they'll gravitate towards me. And there you go. You know what I mean?
And it seems like you have a name and the outline stuff. We didn't even.
Nah.
The name was the only thing we had ready to go. And then I was like, we should like do an outline or something when we
first started.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the same thing with my TikTok. Like, I didn't have a plan. Like, I just started doing it. So once you just let that go, like release yourself from the fear of that, like, you're gonna have so much fun. Like,
I know, and if your friends are already supportive, maybe you start it like you do an episode with one of your friends. Like maybe you're afraid to do it by yourself. Yeah, get used to it. They could be like your first guest or something.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Dason about TikToks like when I first started recording them. And like even now, I still like sometimes if Billy's in the room and I don't want to get up and leave, like I'll tell him to put headphones on so he doesn't have to listen to me recording them. So even if you feel more comfortable doing it by yourself, like do it by yourself a million times once, like just like do a couple takes, listen back to it, and just like go from there. But if you've never recorded yourself, you're gonna hate how you sound. Yeah, you're gonna hate it, but it's because you never hear your own voice.
Yeah, even this is our second time filming in here, and we were both like, yeah, we need to spruce it up in here. What are we doing? Like, we're still being mean. Like how do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, like we're still being critical.
Yeah,
yeah, but that's just like because you want to get better and all that. Yeah, but yeah, girl, I would assume that you're afraid of receiving criticism, which you shouldn't be, because anybody's gonna get that no matter what. The most talented person in the world, like some people literally say that Beyonce has no talent. Can you fucking imagine? No. Can you imagine that blasphemous statement leaving your fucking gob? You know what I mean? There's no way, bro. That's why I said people like are gonna say the most hater shit about anybody because they're afraid. They're just a big fucking cowards. Yeah. So that's why. But you deserve. Jealous. Yeah, you know what? Pursue your dreams and put yourself out there. You'd be surprised. You never know.
Look at all these men who have podcasts.
No shit. You want to talk about someone who should have fear? It should be them. You know what? It's me. I'm instilling the fear in them, so they never make that shit again. I have to go and I have to Uno reverse it. Can
you believe she believes that men should not have a microphone? Shut up.
Someone literally said that. Like I was like, they're like, she wants to take away their rights. I'm like, what do I look like, Gavin Newsom to you? Shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah, I was like, that's what we call a joke. You wouldn't understand that because I'm like, you wouldn't know that because none of your jokes involve anything except bigotry. Yeah. So you're like,
and they're not fucking funny.
Can you believe that?
She wants to take away my microphone.
She wants to take away my microphones.
She's a racist.
I was like, if I could, I would. Dude, do you know someone tried to say in one of those videos, those hating ass bitch videos, someone tried to say I was racist, right?
Okay.
And then this girl goes, how? When has she been racist?
I don't know. That's just the vibe I get.
No, and then he goes, this is what he says. He goes, towards Australian men. Babe, that's not race, babe. Babe? That's not race.
It's called nationality.
That's nationality, babe. Like, Are you
And
fucking
if that
dumb?
makes me a nationalist, so be it.
No, and someone goes, oh, okay, you're a fucking idiot. Got it.
He's like, you too, huh?
He goes, shit heads. And all I said was, what's in the water in Australia? Why is every dude over there the fucking worst? How is that me being racist towards Australia?
They're so oppressed over there.
Oh my God.
All
Yeah.
those white imperialists
Do you know how many Australian
invading that indigenous country?
Do you know how many Australian like fans or mutuals of mine that were like, no, you have no idea how bad it is over here. Why? I was just curious why that was the case.
Well, it's kind of the same here, like with white nationalism, like here.
Yeah, I know,
It's
but
the same there, but they just
with
have
misogyny.
They just have accent. No, it's the same thing here.
No, you're right, but like no, you're right. But maybe it's just because it's more concentrated because the US is so much bigger.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why like it's spread out.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's just like every fucking dude. And that's why I told you when I was in college before TikTok.
Yeah.
I met so
Tell
many
him the
Australian
swimmers.
dudes.
Tell him the swimmer
Oh
story.
yeah, y'all want to
This
hear
is one of my favorite
You
stories.
want to hear tea about a story? Okay. So one time I went to a club underage. Do as I say, not as I do. That's not me
It's not
advocating.
important. Keep going.
Anyways, for my 20th birthday, I went out and we were having a grand old time. And me and my friends would take laps, you know what I mean, and go get free shit. So we had these two dudes. They were at least, both of them were like 6'8", like the biggest fucking dudes, like so tall, white dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They both came up to us, blah, 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 blah. One of them's from New Zealand, one's from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're asking us like, where are you guys from? Like this whole fucking fake ass banter while we wait for the drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, we're from, California, like me and my friend. And then they're like, oh, okay. Well, I was like, where are you guys from? Because clearly they had accents. One of them's like, Australia, New Zealand. I'm like, what are you guys doing here?
Do your accent. Do the accent so I can believe it.
Good day, mate.
There's some shrimp on the barbie.
They just said that over and over again. No other words. They were saying that, and then there's like subtitles.
Yeah,
telling
it's
what
like
they're
I
actually
am
saying.
Groot, but
yeah,
they're just
exactly. So, they told me that they were both on vacation. I go, this is an odd time to vacation, like at the time. And they were like, because we're on break from work or whatever. And I go, oh, what do you guys do for work? And they both said, we're swimmers. And I go, oh, like, I was thinking like a national team or something. And they go, no, we're both Olympians. And I was like, sure. Like immediately my friend and I were like, and I'm an astronaut. And then they were like, no, really, we are. And I was like, sure. And then they both like lifted up their shirts and they both had the Olympic rings tattooed. And I said, I could go into any tattoo shop and get that.
So mean.
Well, because you ain't got to lie to kick it.
You're like, what happened to her to make her act like this?
Yeah,
this
literally.
is how she acts.
Yeah,
This
was when I was 20 years old. Like this was when I was literally 19, dude. I'm 19 and I look 28 because I have all this shit on my face.
Are you gonna buy me a drink or not?
Yeah, I was literally like, okay, Olympian. Like me and my friend were saying, I could go into any tattoo shop and get that. That doesn't mean anything. What is that, a fucking resume? Because you get those rings. You would think if I went into the downtown tattoo shop and I was like, hey, can you tattoo those rings on me? They're gonna be like, are you an Olympian? They're not gonna fucking ask me that shit. They're gonna take my money.
Yeah.
So, anyways, one of the dudes was laughing because he thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
The Australian one wasn't. He did not think it was funny, like my jokes about that shit. So he was like, I'll prove it to you. I'm like, okay, I'll prove it to you, right? Because I'm nothing if not a fucking dick. Yeah. So then he pulls up his phone and he literally Googles himself and he shows me his Wikipedia page. And then he's like, see, and then he goes, I won gold in this year and bronze in this year and blah, blah, blah. And I said, you didn't win gold. You didn't win gold that year because I know Michael Phelps has been running the game for a while. Mm-hmm. He goes, no, this was before he was in there. I said, how old are you? This dude was like 38. And I was all, at the time, because I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
He's like, he was but a baby when I did this.
Yeah, and he was in fucking high school when I was doing this. I was like, God damn.
Your records though, huh? I'm sure. That guy's fucking nuts.
Then the next year he came and dominated everybody when he was like 15. So anyways, that was my first really negative experience with an Australian dude because after that happened, he wouldn't leave me alone the whole night. And he was a big fucking creep. And then when we went outside, at the end of the night, I was like plastered. And I told my friend, I said, they're going to try to take me home and I don't want to go. And I was already so like,
were these adamant. The guys that the Uber guy kicked out of the car?
No, that was a different dude.
Damn.
No.
See what happens when you're straight, guys? This doesn't happen when you're gay and you go out with a bunch of lesbians.
This is the shit I'm talking about when men are like, oh, like you just like assume that you're all guilty until proven otherwise to
Yeah.
me. So this dude wouldn't leave me alone. And then towards the end of the night started getting really aggressive.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you know, your friends are like, oh, I'll go like with you. Like, let's all go to their hotel and hang out. I didn't want to
No.
because I knew this was like a ploy to try to convince me. Mind you, I'm fucked up. So this was him like trying to sexually coerce me.
Yeah.
So then he starts going like, I'm not taking any of these bitches unless you're coming too. And then I said, okay, well then go home alone. The fuck? And then I started leaving and he was trying to chase me.
Ew.
Like run after me. And then a security guard saw me and he was someone.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's the fucking problem here? Because he saw me going, bro, get the fuck off me. Like I started getting really aggressive.
You have to cause like almost a scene.
Yeah. And then he came up to me and he asked me and someone if I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I said, yeah, but this guy won't leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, she said to fuck off, dude, so fuck off. And he was like, oh, I was just playing around.
Good day, mate. Good day,
Good day,
mate.
good day, mate. Good day, mate. And then the things are like, I was just kidding. I was just playing around. Whatever. Anyways, that was my story of an Olympian who wasn't even that fucking good, by the way. Then find out, fast forward a couple years later, he got kicked off a plane for calling a flight attendant a homophobic slur. And then he was in the news and then he got arrested.
The F slur?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, he called him that because he was pissed about something. Because he
like
was
a female flight attendant?
No, it was a male one. But he was
Not that it matters. I was just
he was an
curious.
alcoholic and he was fucked up on his flight and they wouldn't serve him anymore.
That's why friends. We had someone ask Ayana. She asked about famous athletes.
Yeah, hello.
These guys are fucking creepy.
I'm telling you, bro.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but a good majority of them are.
So he's 38. You could tell when someone's young. I think that's the part that people don't think about. Like if I'm talking to someone, I'm like, oh, you're I always go, how old are you? And they go 22 a month. I can tell.
Yeah.
And it's not in a bad way, but it's
No.
just like different. We're just at different parts of our lives.
Well,
and
that's why I said, like, when I was getting hit on by NFL players, I was like 21.
Yeah.
And some of them were like in their late 40s.
Stop.
So
that's you guys gotta think about that when you go out.
how many times have I said that?
You have to think about that.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Like I think about like when I would go to rugby tournaments when I played in college
Mhm.
and I played rugby, everyone's gay on my team, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of lesbians.
Yeah.
And then there's men hitting on us and my friends think it's funny. I'm like, why is that funny? He's like literally as old as my dad. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. And that's why I was
You're
like,
my uncle. You're old enough to literally be my uncle.
well, I always say that I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Taxes?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? The Great Depression?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what was the cable car like? Like, what the fuck am I going to talk about with an old geezer? Nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm telling you, athletes, they're just men with money.
Yeah.
That's like, they're the same fucking person. Like, and you'll find out very quickly how easy it is to one, get their attention and two, be like, ew, get the ick. They give you icks just as much as normal fucking dudes do.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't even remember what the original question was.
I don't either, but
Oh, it was to do her podcast. Yes, you should do your podcast.
Cam, do your podcast. We're excited.
Do your podcast. I'm
and
excited
please
for you.
send it to us because we love podcasts.
Yeah. I was like, how did we end up there?
Anyways, Australian men, don't even get me started.
Don't even get me started. I have so many poor fucking stories with Australian men in real life before TikTok. Okay. So I can.
It's even worse now. Can you imagine
Yeah.
if TikTok existed then?
Oh my God, dude, I don't even want to know.
Back in the day?
Back in my day.
Okay. This one's from someone named Katie, and she would like to know, do you have any tips on how to dress / find your own style?
I get questions like that a lot.
It's because you're a style icon.
Yeah, people say that to me all the time. I'm like, am I?
Am I better than everyone?
Yeah. I would say, I mean, with what little fashion knowledge I have.
You know what I think is first of all, everyone has an idea of what they want to dress like. I feel like anyone, like you ask anyone on the street, they have an idea. Do they know how to do it? No, because that's hard.
Whether it's execution or just like courage.
Yeah.
To do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I always use Pinterest. So if I'm like, I really want.
That's on some white girl shit. I don't do that.
That's the white in me, the 1/4 of white in me. So if I really want like inspiration, and even then, like I go on Pinterest and they're like wearing like $300 jeans. Like I don't do that. I just go in there to see ideas of what I want to dress like, and then I'll just pull inspiration and stuff like that.
I mean, that's a great idea. I think for me, it's like you got to focus on what you like most about your features. Like what's something you really love? Like, do you really like your shoulders? Do you really like your legs? Like, Do you like your
titties?
yeah, do you like your titties? Do you like your ass? Do you like your midriff? Like which part of you do you like and how do you like to highlight that or show it off? And then you can kind of build around
Me,
that.
I like to be topless at all times.
Titties out.
Titties out.
Like for me, like I said, I really like a little crop top and big jeans. So I'm not too hard pressed on jeans being tight or like showing off. Like I don't really care about that, but I do like having my midriff out if I can. I like my arms and my shoulders. Like those are things that you can focus on highlighting, and then you can kind of build outfits around that to kind of gain your confidence a little bit.
I would
when you're dressing for
if
yourself.
you don't have the like what's it called?
No, just like a skinny girl body.
Yeah.
Like what's revered in beauty centers,
Yes,
like
exactly.
patriarchal beauty centers.
So if you don't look like how like Bella Hadid and all these guys, and you have a certain style, but every time you look it up on Pinterest, like that's what happens to me.
Yeah.
They'll only show tiny white women wearing these things. I always type in like plus size 90s, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
and then
cool.
that way you can find other creators on there. And then I would also follow creators on TikTok that have your body style, body type.
Yeah.
And your style.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like some people have very specific style and some people like to kind of jump around and experiment. So if you don't know what it is, you could very easily experiment with many different kinds and then kind of see what you like the best.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I did a little bit, only because I've always been like so extra with my outfits and shit, like ever since I was little. But like as I got older, I started kind of tailoring my style a little bit more catered towards like what I really liked to feature and then also what I thought looked really cute on me.
Yeah.
So whether it's like certain colors or textures, because there are like certain things I don't like to wear because I just like don't like them on me.
Yeah.
Like black jeans. For some reason, I really don't like black jeans on myself. So like that's not something I try to force myself to wear anymore. Because before I'd be like, well, everyone needs a black pair of jeans, but like
it's a basic.
Yeah, but like you don't need to wear that if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But I love a light wash and a true blue wash of jean, like or a patchwork or anything like that. So like once you kind of pick and choose textures and like staples and all of that, then you can kind of start to play around with it a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Experiment with it all if you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you'll start to tailor. But follow people that you feel inspired by, like Dason said.
Yeah, that's what I always do.
Yeah, like my friend Dove. She has a very specific style. She's very ethereal, very fairy-like, very cottagecore. You know what I mean? So like if that's something you're into, follow people like that. So like you can kind of get some inspo from how they dress.
Yeah.
Or there's like maximalist dressing creators like Tiny Jewish Girl.
Yeah.
Like such a specific style, so artistic.
Would you say that's what Victoria Paris does or no?
No, I think Victoria Paris is more so like streetwear.
Oh, got it.
Like,
okay.
yeah, she's very streetwear and very trendy too, but like she's got a very specific style also. So like when you see other creators that have these different palettes, like you can kind of like bounce around and be like, oh, I really like this, really like this. And then maybe you can start to pull inspo from them. Just like off Pinterest, but you could see it on a real life person.
Yeah.
Which I think would be helpful.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with watching maximalist content creators.
Is that when they do like remember when that trend was going around? They're like, how to dress like a Gucci model. Sunglasses.
I don't remember that.
Remember, and so people.
Yeah, it's like nothing but layers and everything's torn.
And then they have like the tied like babushka like handkerchief around their head. Do you remember that?
I don't remember the trend, but
Big,
I think I know what you're talking about.
Dress with a top. I keep describing it to you, Amal.
No, if you look up Tiny Jewish Girl, like
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
She has such a sick style, but like. I'm obsessed with watching maximalist dressing because that's never been my journey fashion wise, but I'm obsessed with it because I think it's so cool.
It's so creative for sure.
Yeah, like it's like art. So I just feel like there's an art and a process to it, and I'm fascinated by it. I think it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, I feel it.
And that's why I love watching.
Good for you, babes.
Yeah, and just like It's Mary Fran has a very specific style too.
So cute.
So fucking cute too. And Jessica Torres.
Yeah.
Jessica Torres is a wonderful person to follow if you really want to explore plus size fashion.
Is it with a Z or an S? I forgot.
An S, I'm pretty sure. But she is so trendy, but also not. Like she's very catered. She has her very specific style, but she also helps you see all the different trends on different body types, which I think is fucking awesome. So fucking cool.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so this is from Liba. This was actually the first question we got. Oh. Good for you.
First in line.
First in line. And she wants to know, I'm having a career crisis. How do you pick between what you love and are passionate about that doesn't necessarily make a lot of money and a safe option. That's not what you want to do, but it makes good money.
I think that you have to be realistic, especially if you have bills to pay, because you have to be responsible. Obviously, you have to take care of yourself. But at the same time, life is way too short to waste it doing something that you really don't like doing, because that's when you get stuck in the wheel of capitalism. Because just like that tweet I told you about, I saw when someone was like, remember at the beginning of lockdown when everyone was like cooking and learning to sew and
spending time with their kids,
dancing and decorating their house for like something they've been trying to do for a year. And they were like, and making bread. Remember everybody was making bread?
Yeah.
And she's like, and then we all got to see a taste of what life should really be like, as opposed to working every fucking day, working 40 hours a week. So I think there's a fine line. Like what I would do for you, in your case, I would work at your safe job, start saving up money, and put a plan in place. That's me. That's the Virgo in me, but get a plan, like an exit strategy.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, by the end of this year, I want to quit this job and do this full time. Because you can roll 2 balls at once. I think that's the safest option. And I think that's the more responsible option, especially if you have bills. But if you don't have bills, like, I don't know, like, let's say you're still in school or something and you work, but it's only like part-time, like at a restaurant. Again, roll 2 balls at once. Like, start trying to build it to a place where it can make you money and sustain you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's worth the risk at some point.
Yeah, to follow your dreams and stuff, but like in a way that's like, it's not gonna like turn your world upside down.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like detrimental.
Because then you'll be like, why did I do this? I hate this, and I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's gonna take all the joy out of what you would consider a passion, because you're gonna be struggling, which is like, I mean, part of it to an extent, but if you can like cushion yourself enough so you don't have to be too stressed when you do it full time, then that's what I would do. Because life is too short to, if anything, the past like 2.5 years has taught us anything, is that life is not guaranteed and it's too short.
Yeah.
So you gotta like make the most of the time you have now.
Yeah. She said, this one says, how to move out of your parents' house. LOL. I'm a Pacific Islander. I'm 25 and I still live with my parents.
Girly, it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
It's part of the journey. I talked about that with Manny. It's very common for minority families to live at home forever.
Multi-generational households. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or to like leave for a little and then have to move back.
This is also a question from someone named Leilani. So shout out our girlie Leilani.
She said, I'm Pacific Islander and I still live at home. And she's 25. Well, first of all, don't feel like you need to be living somewhere else immediately. Because
there's so many like I've seen so many different articles and stuff of how like maybe not our parents, but their parents were able to live on their own out at like 20.
Yeah, you know, because inflation wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Or they didn't suffer at the hands of inflation,
so
like we are.
More affordable. Yeah. Like all this stuff. They're getting paid more. Like, not at all. Like it matched each other. So like if you have friends, like I have friends who have bought homes and stuff, and I'm 28. I don't own a home.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you're exactly where you're supposed to be in life at the time that you're there. And it's for good reason, whatever that may be. But I lived at home for a hot fucking minute. That was like part of the reason why I didn't want to move back home from Hawaii when I was done with college. Because I was afraid that I was going backwards in life. Like I was like, oh, I'm going back because I'm moving back with my parents. But what you should be focusing on instead is, well, one, putting a plan if you really want to move out. Like just set up money. Save up and all that. But two is like being appreciative that your parents let you live at home. Because like sometimes I think, you know, even Manny said this on my show with him. Like he had mentioned, like it's very, very typical for like white families to be like, well, when you're 18, you got to move out. Yeah. And that's not how minority families work. In fact, a lot of times they want you to stay home forever.
Well, then you end up taking care of your, like, whether it's like your grandparents or your parents.
Yeah, and you're not, like obviously, if you're Pacific Islander, I know for a fact you're not a mooch. So like, I know you're doing those feiaos every weekend. I know you're contributing in some way financially.
On the Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So I know you're helping and pitching in. I would just, well, one, be grateful that you have a family that lets you live at home when you're in your 20s. And two, just start making a plan, you know? There's no set time limit. You like, I think with social media, there's like this instant gratification thing where they're like, oh, someone's 22 and they bought a car, they bought a home and all that shit off the money they made off social media. But like, that's not real life. Like those people are very like exceptions to the rule kind of thing, because that's not real life. You have to think too, like we talked about this. Like I'm so fucking glad I was very normal and had lots of real people jobs before social media happened for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it gives you a much more realistic perspective on life.
Yeah, I agree.
So you can, girl, live at home as long as you can, unless you're like dying to get out.
Yeah.
If you're unhappy and you're dying to get out, then I would tell you the same advice. Get a plan in place, like start like budgeting, start looking up like where you would want to live, how much do you have to make, how much do you have to save in order to like do the lease and the down payment or whatever that may be. So just start planning, girly. That's what, nothing makes you feel better than a plan. That's the Virgo in me.
Shut up.
Nothing alleviates stress quite like a plan.
What's the plan?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Preparedness is what makes you feel like you have control. And I would know because I need control all the time.
So this one's from someone named Dot, and she said, how do you avoid incels and creepy old men when you want to look hot in public? And then she put the sweating emoji with that.
You can't. That's what I would say. If you look hot, you're gonna look hot, and men are gonna be fucking creepy. Unfortunately, that's just a realistic circumstance that we're constantly in. I would just make peace with it.
And then just always be really aware of your safety when you're in public.
Yeah, and make sure you're not alone.
Yeah.
When you really trying to stunt on these hoes, like make sure you're not alone, because a lot of times like they feel more powerful when you're by yourself.
Yeah.
So I would just accept that you literally cannot avoid it. Even if I went out in the most unflattering outfit and I look so fucked up, someone is still gonna bother me.
Yeah.
Like some dude is still gonna say some fucked up shit to me. So don't let that dictate how you want to dress. But at the same time,
be aware.
Be aware. Yeah, be realistic. And also like be really fucking mean sometimes if you need to be.
But
if you feel so inclined.
Makes you feel safe. Yeah.
But do it in a safe circumstance, obviously. I said that all the time when I was like teaching people what I do when I get catcalled. When I was teaching people that shit, I was literally like, obviously though, like take this with a grain of salt because some people are fucking psycho. But that's why I did it that way, because I used to like fly off the handle because I had no fear when I was younger, and I feel like that was misguided of me. I shouldn't have been like that. But I was just like so angry when I was younger.
Yeah.
So when I got older, I did that silly shit, and it like helps neutralize it because you're not antagonizing them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not giving in to them. So it's like they get so uncomfortable that they're like, fuck this weirdo. And then they leave. That's what I'm talking about.
This is from someone named Stacy, and she said, I've been having a hard time trying to talk to other people that I'm going to college with in the fall. I'm a high school senior right now. It's an art school, and I just feel very intimidated since I'll be starting on a clean slate. How should I go about putting myself out there to make friends and get roommates?
Well, first of all, you're not assigned a roommate. That was the deal with me.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, same.
How many years did you live in the dorms? Sorry, the residence halls.
Yeah, I lived in those for
3 years, huh?
No, 2 years.
Your junior, senior year, you lived?
Oh, no, 3. Where did I live? Oh, no, yeah. Okay, I remember where I lived my sophomore year. Yeah, where I was blanking. It was the air-conditioned one.
Yeah, the bougie one, yeah.
Well, for us, I don't know about roommates because our freshman years, we got randomly placed with people.
I did my freshman and my sophomore year. So.
Oh, yeah. And then for me, my freshman year, I got randomly placed. My sophomore year, my stupid fucking friends didn't choose in time, so all of us just got randomly placed.
Yeah.
But it was so strange because we got placed in the same building on the same floor, so it was like synergetic, but they all got together and they put me with somebody else. So, and then my third year, I picked my roommate, and then my fourth year, I lived off campus. I lived in a house with my roommate. So, I was gonna say to lean into a roommate. But then you're saying that you have to find a roommate, which is kind of tricky.
Yeah, I think curious.
I'm sure you can ask to be randomly placed.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say that, and then because I worked in orientation programs, we did these like Facebook groups where we would put all the students that are like incoming class of whatever.
Yeah, but that's probably exclusive to y'all, because my school never did that.
Oh, really?
No, hell no.
Well, see if they do that. Maybe they do that at your school.
Yeah,
and then they would put on there like, oh, who's going to week of welcome? Like some of the students.
My school didn't do that shit, but if yours does, yeah, look into it. I'm sure there must be some kind of Facebook.
I was in there being
page.
God, like moderating. Well, deleting comments and stuff. Yeah.
You were Mark Zuckerberg looking over the page. I mean, for me, my freshman year roommate, shout out Natasha. She was my first friend and is still my friend.
Yeah.
I got very lucky.
I'm
with
not
my very
friends
first.
with, honestly, any roommate I had. I'm not friends with any of them anymore.
Yeah.
Basically, I would go to different, like, if that we were talking about week of welcome events, like
Yeah.
any sort of student events. If your dorm is doing something or residence hall is doing something together, I would always participate.
Yeah.
And then I would definitely connect with your like student center or whatever to look for like different clubs and organizations that have shared interests with you. So
even if it feels a little lame, it's truly for the best. And also to remember that everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's nervous. Everybody's like, especially if you're moving out of state, everybody's new to town and all that. And then don't rule out school either. Like school is like a great way to like almost force relationships with people, because
group projects and
group projects or just like people you see all the time in the same classes. Like maybe you'll start connecting.
Maybe you get a part-time job doing something easy if you're a freshman, like
on campus.
Yeah, working at the library or some shit. Yeah. You can make new work friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot more accessible, I feel like, than it used to be. Even when we were in college, it was super accessible. So I can't even imagine how much it's evolved now.
I know.
So if anything, I would just be open and don't be afraid, because everyone's going to love you. I'm sure you're wonderful and amazing. So someone's going to gravitate towards you, I'm sure. And then you'll just build out a little friendship circle from there.
Yeah. And then for roommates, I would, first of all, if you can live with just one person, I can't recommend that more than I can.
Like, I think, the most people I ever lived with was 4. And I much preferred living with just my friend. So
yeah, my last year I lived with, there's 6 of us total.
Yeah, that's a lot. We used to talk about that in theory, my friends and I. We were like, oh, we should all live together. But I genuinely don't think we would have made it. I don't all live together.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we would have made it, because we were all so specific about certain things, like whether it's cleaning or like,
even decor.
Having people over. Yeah, decor. Like I always talk about my friend Natasha, because she was my first friend at school, and she's still my friend to this day. I fucking love that bitch. But she was all about putting anything in the house. And like some of my other friends were like, don't put this in the house, it's ugly. And she was like, well, it's my house too. I live here, so I should be able to put stuff. So like,
put them in your room then.
Yeah. So I mean, it can be really fun living with more than one person, but it just comes with its challenges when you're in college, especially at that time. Especially if you're all single and you're dating and you're having people over and all that. Like, and I'm just like such a mom that I'm always like, dude, come on. Like it's late, go to sleep. Like on school nights, I'm like, it's a school night. That's me. So, but like the person I ended up living with my last year off campus in a house, like we were all very much so on the same wavelength. Yeah. Like we operated the same. We're both grandpas. Like we both like to sleep in during the school weeks and all that stuff and go out on the weekends. So like that was like perfect. But sometimes if you're with someone that loves to party all the time and you don't like to do that, it can get tricky.
That was like,
Yeah. So live with one person if you can. And hopefully it's someone who's on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
There's still going to be like challenges here and there. That just comes with living with another person. Though.
Yeah.
Like literally anybody.
So yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Two Idiot Girls.
Yes.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If we answered one of your questions, you're welcome for the advice. And then our next few episodes, we're going to do different themes of types of advice that all of you want. If you have any ideas. Ooh, you know what we might do next? Someone said we should do conspiracy theories that we believe in.
Oh, I would love that.
I think it would be better if they sent us their conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I would love that.
Ooh, okay, that's
such
the next
a great
one.
idea.
That's the next one. So look out for that Google Doc. And we're going to make you guys put your big 3 in there. It just feels right at this point. So.
We should do one on astrology too.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
I would love that.
Well, anyways, we're looking forward to it, to giving you advice. Take this advice from 2 idiots.
From 2 idiots. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe and rate our podcast everywhere that you listen to podcasts. Also, you can see the set on YouTube if you're listening to this in the car.
Yes.
Please make sure you're watching it, because it's so much funnier to watch it.
Yeah, that's me personally. I like to watch stuff.
Turn on a show while you're eating.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the show.
Yeah, I literally love to watch stuff. So I almost prefer to watch things. So if that's you,
here you go.
Here you go. You're welcome.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.